In this video, I'm going to show you how to build your own DIY box dividers. These are very useful if you want a more professional solution to dividing up your larger boxes than building smaller boxes within. I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to talk about using other boxes that you would normally throw away to also store, to repurpose them as storage boxes for other things that you will want to store. So before I get too far into my DIY box dividers for my DIY boxes or any other box that you choose to use, I'm going to get over a few other short but related topics as well. One of them is saving other retail boxes can also be useful if they are useful to you. I mean, don't hoard stuff that you don't have a use for. Your space is valuable as well, and anything which you're taking up space with can be in your way later on when you have an emergency and you need to use that space. You need to be able to either pass through that space or throw something there, whatever else it is. If you got a bunch of stuff you never needed and never will need there, then that's going to be in your way. So that's saving different things. Okay, they are useful. I mean, maybe I'm going to store a bunch of batteries. These guys are perfect. These guys can probably store about 8 batteries sideways and 2 up. And then you get these other boxes here, the ones that came 2 in the box, and you can do twice as many. That could also be used for ammunition, like say reloads. Anything that you do, it's a DIY project. Guess what? The box is also DIY. So, make some boxes for them if you're going to store them in a box. But any of these things here, you could have a number of different, spots where you could put things in these boxes. But maybe they will be too large, like in this case. And also, if you are taking care of these boxes from your waste boxes, if these were old food waste boxes, make sure they don't have food junk in them. Otherwise, if you can't clean them out properly, throw them out. The bugs that they will bring in is far worse than whatever you're going to gain from using of the box. There's plenty of other boxes. You'll get some more Velveeta cheese, You'll get some more Velveeta cheese at some other point. But in this case, yeah, I mean, I could store a ton of batteries or, this is more applicable to what we're talking about than this box was. Because here I can store a ton of batteries or ammunition or any other thing that I decided to store in this box. I could store a very large number of those in any different fashion I want to, but I might want to divide them off. So making the box dividers can be as simple as just taking some paper and cutting it out and making it so that it is a flat I don't think I'm actually going to need those for the rest of the video, but if I do, I know where they are. But the idea is to make, and this works better with cardboard than it does with paper, unless you're going to glue it in. So you can just run it across, but that's where you want the tab. If you're going to, you can put a tab on the bottom. And this is why I just made slits before on a previous video. I'm reusing that paper. So these are with slits in there. So that way they can be folded over and tabbed. This was for a little DIY box. Take a look at the other video if you want to. But it becomes a box when you glue it all together. But here I'm talking about gluing it in to the box. And you can put tabs on either side, tabs on the bottom. And if this is the right width, it would go across and divide. So you would just cut that out to the proper height of your box and whatever tab space you want it to. And if you're going to glue it in, paper would work just fine for some applications. But if you're not going to glue them in, cardboard is really important. That's where, use of the lid, if you're not actually going to use the lid for anything else, the lid is good material. It's still cardboard, but it's still thin, so it makes great divider too. But the more firm it is, the better off it is. And another way that you can do it, if you're not going to, if you want to do either slidable or you just don't want to use glue, you can make these to where you can cross divide as well. And that would just be by that will just be by taking these guys and cutting them up to the halfway point. I'm going to cut them, well, I went past the halfway point, but the halfway point is what you want to hit to have it be just right. And then what can happen is now these guys can fit together. And if they were at the halfway point, it would be so perfect. But unfortunately, I blew that. But here is the dividers. See, they can fit together in that cross pattern and go inside the box. And then you can just fold these guys over and glue them to the side as tabs. And cross-divide your box pretty well. If these were better folded, I could show it better. But I think that gets the idea that you could cross. You can make a crisscross pattern in any place where I wanted to make additional cuts on here. I could cut, another half and then put in another divider here. So I can divide that up however I want to with my box dividers. So that's how I can take ordinary paper, or better yet, cardboard, and use it to divide up my boxes, as we can see here. That divider, just got to glue that into the sides, fold over tabs, and glue it to the sides of the walls of the box. Fold over tabs on the bottom, glue it to the base of the box. Thank you for watching.